remember the day it happened. My father, so I was working at a hotel in Boston. I start my shift at 6:30 in the morning. Usually I'd stay up until 4 in the morning with my friends and go to work, a total zombie. But I could just muddle my way through. And my dad called me at work. He said, Chris, you're still writing songs. He said, why don't you quit your job and try and make a living off songwriting? And my first response literally was, Dad, you been drinking or what's happening? And he said no, and he was just thinking about his life. That's the day I decided to quit. I just remember I played an open mic night, then got to feature a few nights after that, be the feature artist, go from like 2 songs to like 4. And I made $50 in tips. There's just a lightning bolt moment that like, okay, play, get paid, sing, get paid, have a song, get paid. So it was a cool moment.
Welcome to Curious Goldfish, a podcast community where music and curiosity come together through interesting conversations with the music makers of our world. I'm your host, Jason English. You can find Curious Goldfish on all the major podcast and social media platforms. And of course, we have all of our content on our website, curiousgoldfish.com. Welcome back to Curious Goldfish. I'm Jason English. I just released a 100-page report based on a survey of nearly 600 people about the state of music. It might just be the coolest thing I've ever created. If you are an independent artist, it could be the fuel you need to drive better fan engagement moving forward. And if you're a music fan, it contains incredible insights about what you can do to support your favorite independent artist. There's a free summary, and it's available at curiousgoldfish.com. Please download it today. I sat down with Chris Trapper at the 38 Songwriters Festival earlier this year. It was his first time playing. And if you've not heard his name, you've probably heard the songs. The song Avalanche got me through a long road trip after a divorce. There's Keg on My Coffin, a line his mom dropped once at the kitchen table and somehow ended up on numerous Spotify playlists about death. His work has been in The Devil Wears Prada, and There's Something About Mary, and countless other television shows and movies. 12 albums in, Chris is still working without a backup plan. He talks about the years he walked into coffee shops bracing for the day he would have to work in one, and the day he noticed he had been afraid of the same thing long enough to put it down. And then there's the unexpected call his father made to him when he was just 20-something, encouraging him to quit that job and pursue songwriting. There's also the stutter that he had as a kid and the 5th grade musical that gave him a new identity. There's also the brother he lost to addiction 2 summers ago and the album opener he wrote months before without knowing yet what it was about. We get into all of it on a brisk Saturday morning during the 38 Songwriters Festival. Chris is one of the best. He works, he engages, and he writes some of the best songs that are out there. It was my pleasure to meet with him, and I hope you enjoy the conversation. So from Buffalo, New York, by way of Boston, here's Chris Trapper. Let's dive in. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, good to see you. What's happening?
Yeah, not a whole lot. Well, we're here in Florida for the 38 Songwriters Festival, so really excited to talk with you. I guess is this your first time here?
First time here, yeah. Very excited. I've tried to get on for a bunch of years, but finally I made it.
Yeah, no, it's
finally
great.
I got here.
Well, I guess what are you most excited about?
I'm excited to see a bunch of friends because I've been touring for a long time, so you get to know a lot of people, but it's almost like shooting a movie where you're with people for a month and then you just don't see them again. That's how touring can be. So it's hard to stay in touch with people. So now you're in a place where everybody is kind of, or lots of, I probably have, 10 people here that I've done tours with over the years. So just seeing friends and also kind of checking this out because I've heard about it for years and years and years, but you've never done it. So it's just interesting to explore and see people and also get a little vacation from Boston weather where I live now, and it's been cold. That's constantly. Awesome. So,
and you drove down here yesterday?
I drove by myself. Yeah, I love long drives. So, I stopped in Fairfax, Virginia.
Okay.
And then I stopped in Tallahassee, and then I drove here. So,
okay.
So yeah.
So who do you listen to, or what do you listen to on those road trips?
I listen to everything: music, podcasts. I'm gonna listen to your podcast now.
Yeah,
all kinds of stuff: talk radio, Sirius radio,
yeah,
playlists, on Spotify, all kinds of stuff. But I'm pretty good at being able to kind of keep myself entertained and awake. You can also make phone calls to people that I owe calls to, so I can have a 3-hour chat with old friends, and so it's good. I like it. It's also, for me, kind of being between destinations is where I can reach a zen state of just relaxation, because I'm just kind of out there.
Okay.
You know? So it's actually worked for me being a solo artist. I was with the band for a bunch of years, and also grew up in a big family. So I was just with people all the time for my since birth. I was the sixth of 6 kids.
Geez.
Then a band was like, you started out 3 guys, then 4, and then it's a crew, and then now I love a long drive by myself and just get into that kind of zen state. Yeah.
Well, we're at the Songwriters Festival. There's like 150 here. You're one of my favorite songwriters.
Really?
And I just learned.
I'm going to quiz you right now.
Well, I mean, I'm not an expert, but I have a handful of like, okay, I need some Chris Trapper. But what's interesting is I didn't learn of you, and I probably had heard your music. I just never really paid attention until, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. You know how like the Spotify stuff works? Like you can turn on like the radio thing and you just kind of pick up.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, you know how music sometimes, there's certain artists or certain songs that if you look back, it's like that's like the soundtrack of that period of life.
Yeah.
So not to get all woo-woo like right away.
No, please do. Let's dive right in, shall we?
But you know, I was married a long time. I got divorced, and I took a long road trip and moved from Boulder to Atlanta.
Okay.
And that road trip is when I first heard Avalanche.
Oh, cool.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know it's probably one of your most popular songs, but I just want to tell you, like, I don't know what it is. It's like your sound, melodies, the lyrics. They just have meant a lot in the last 4 years as I've kind of like moved on from like that trauma.
Yeah.
So just again, not to like to be too fanboy here, but
No,
like, thank you for that.
Please do.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Thanks for saying that.
Yeah.
It's it's nice to feel that your work connects and reaches people and can serve some kind of positive purpose.
Yeah.
And whenever I get those compliments or that kind of thing, it makes it feel worth it, and makes the long drives feel worth it, and all the non-fun stuff that we do. So, like the rest stops or whatever, that kind of stuff. It just makes it worth it. So.
Yeah. Well, I have a couple different topics I want to hit on, but your most recent album came out last year, Watching Sparks Fly By, right? I guess what's been the most surprising feedback as you play those songs from people that you didn't expect?
I'm trying to think of surprising feedback. I think for me, it's more just about navigating the modern music business and how it changes and shifts, because I've had an audience for a long time, more of a boutique audience, but very loyal. So they've gone with me through all different phases, where I did like kind of an 80s pop record to a totally folk acoustic record to a Dixieland jazz band backing me for one record. And people have stayed with me. So it's just navigating how to get music out there. And this is the first record where I tried a few business moves to try and like get things happening. And it's just trying to navigate that stuff has been more of where my focus has been. My audience has been super receptive to it, and very nice about it. I kind of made this record sound a little bit more modern or current compared to my last few, and people just rolled with it. Kind of went with it. So
you mentioned the business. You're famous for talking about like mailbox money.
Shoot!
With all the,
that's weird, but
with all the because you've had placements in so many movies through the years, right?
Yeah.
And you were just talking before we were recording about the latest one on, it's like top 10 in Netflix.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
What do you think is about your music that attracts, like, I don't know what you call them, the buyers or the search people that are looking for the music for television and movies? What do you think resonates with them?
I think more so it just gets in one and it works well or fits a scene well, and then that's where you piggyback from it, at least from a business angle or people. So my first real movie that I had a song in was There Something About Mary. If you remember that one? Farrelly Brothers used my songs for a bunch of different movies with my band. So you kind of just piggyback off that. As far as what works or why it works, I'm not sure if there's a... I always listen to music thinking this would be great. I mean, different people's music. Yeah. You think this would be great in a movie scene, but they haven't had that kind of exposure or opportunity. So I feel that, like, I've been more so lucky than having some specific knack or skill set that fits a movie scene. The only thing that I can give myself a little credit for is I was in a bunch of musicals back in high school. So I learned songwriting in that way on some levels. When I've been asked to write for a scene, for a movie, I can actually kind of think musical theater wise, if that makes sense. So I can think like, how would the character step out? Sing this scene with choreography or dance moves or that kind of thing. So I think that helped a lot.
What's more common if you release a song and someone's like, okay, I want that song because I have a scene that I think fits? Or are you asked more to, like, here's the screenplay, here's the scene, and you actually write for that?
I'd say it's kind of half and half. I love when somebody uses something that's been recorded because it's so easy. So the movie The Devil Wears Prada, they're just like, you have a song, it's in the movie, and it's done.
Oh, man.
It was like one day, no work, no effort, because that movie did so well across the world. That's been super good as far as Mailbox money, to circle back. Although, because remember the first time that I'd get a check in the mail back in the old days, I'd be like, wow, this just
appears.
Showed up. Yeah, I don't have to work for it. That I mean, currently, and I didn't lift boxes like my old jobs or have to wash dishes like the old jobs. I just wrote a song and put it out there.
Yeah.
So that's, knock on wood if there's any wood around here. But anyway.
Well, I think you've said in other interviews that your kids are a little hesitant to pursue a career in music because you can't make any money.
Right.
I think they've said that, and you've said that. I guess, what is your advice to the 20-something singer-songwriter that's grinding it out? Like, is there a path forward, do you think, for them?
I do think, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, like any business, I tell my kids this too. Both my kids are really skilled at talking to people because I brought them on tour with me for years and years and years. So they're great at shaking a hand and making eye contact and asking questions and all the things I tried to teach them over the years. And I think that music's a people business. Regardless whether technology changes or... I think that as long as you kind of put good stuff out there and just a hand-to-hand, heart-to-heart business, where that won't change. If you write something that moves people or attracts people, then that's half the job right there. So I would encourage. So I can see my kids now are starting to get a little bit more curious because we live in a town that's a lot of kind of finance people and lawyers and doctors and stuff like that. So I think that they are just now at the age where they're starting to think like, oh, we have to think about a career path. And they're starting to get a little more curious about fun jobs versus less fun jobs. And so it's fun for me to kind of just see them work through that whole process because everybody had to. There was a certain time when I had to take a risk from the real world to, like, I'm going to attempt to make a living off songwriting. And I can remember the day it happened. My father, so I was working at a hotel in Boston, and I'd been working in the food storeroom for 5 years. So I start my shift at 6:30 in the morning. Usually I'd stay up until 4 in the morning with my friends and go to work, a total zombie. But I could just muddle my way through. And my dad called me at work. He said, "Chris, you still writing songs?" And I said, "Yeah, I write songs once a week, once a day." He said, "Why don't you quit your job and try and make a living off songwriting?" my first response literally was, "Dad, you been drinking or what? What's happening?" And he said no, and he was just thinking about his life, and so that's the day I decided to quit. And then I just remember, like, a couple weeks later, I played an open mic night, then got to feature a few nights after that, be the feature artist, so you'd go from like 2 songs to like 4. And I made $50 in tips, and that there's just a lightning bolt moment that, like, okay, play, get paid, sing, get paid, have a song, get paid. So that was a cool moment. And so I've told my kids that they can do anything they want, that they'll have to monetize it at some point in time, but just find your passion first and then make money from there.
So you're a father, I'm a father. Like, that's kind of probably the opposite advice that I would probably give my kids, because I'm like, you got to make some money. And
yeah.
I talk to enough musicians to know how hard it is.
Yeah.
So like, that's amazing that your father had that foresight.
For his era and generation, looking back on it and talking to lots of other musicians, I've seen so many talented people kind of not pursue music because their parents would be the type who were like, come on, get real. You're not making money at this. That's not happening. So
right,
figure something else out.
Yeah.
My parents didn't really even push college because they just, it wasn't important for them. They literally wanted their kids to find their true happiness, which is super cool. Looking back on it now, because they were kind of 50s people, not 1950s people. So, yeah.
Well, so
I was lucky.
So you were on the Wheels Off podcast with Rhett Miller,
the
frontman for Old 97s. He's going to be here tomorrow, so I'm excited to talk to him. But you said on that, which is related to what we were talking about, you said, I think the lack of a backup plan has sustained me. I talked to a lot of people. Again, most of them, are under the radar, and they have the waitressing job, or they have the job at a hotel, or they have all these other things. And it's hard because sometimes you have to kind of make the call.
Yeah.
To like, okay, I'm all in.
Right.
Is that, do you think you have to do that?
To be all in?
Yeah.
In music?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and it might look different. Like you might have to teach guitar lessons or do a live stream or certain things when the money dips. If you're a songwriter, be a songwriter. You just figure out how to monetize that. And it's hard. There's definitely been years where I've been like, I just realized that for years and years and years, I had a fear where I'd go into a coffee shop and just be thinking like, maybe I'll have to work here at some point in time. Then I realized a few years in that I've had that same fear for so long that I can let it go.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Because irrational, like fear that never happened.
Yeah.
So, but then when I talk about it, it starts to come back. Like maybe I will need, but I've been super fortunate though.
So on not to like double down too much here, but on the theme of monetization, we were talking about Dan Navarro, who he was here yesterday. Like you, he's pursued opportunities outside of just playing shows, so like voice acting and video games and commercials and all the things. Do you think you have to diversify into those other aspects to actually have a real income, or can you do it with just touring and
you can
streaming?
I think you can do it with just touring. I think everyone's situation is very different.
Yeah.
Like for me, I think if I didn't have the movie, songs, and television stuff, I'd probably need to think of different avenues. But I think it just looks different for each person, pretty much, like what their career shape is, or how the arc will work. But for me, it's been, I'll do a series of private shows, house concerts, the occasional corporate gig. I'll write songs with people, for people, then touring, then making records, then streaming, then licensing stuff. So it's a multi-tiered thing.
All right, so shifting a little bit, again, taking the Dan Navarro thread a little bit further. So he's got the big hit, We Belong, Pat Benatar.
Yep.
So on your latest album, Watching Sparks Fly By, you've got a duet with Pat Benatar.
Yeah.
So it's like the Pat Benatar tribute weekend here
on
the podcast.
Yeah.
I guess tell me about how that came together.
She's here with us in spirit in some way. So I toured with she and her husband Neil for for 2 summers back to back, and I did one show with them. It worked well, and then I kind of just fit into their vibe, which is it's just very professional, very just I don't know, it's hard to explain like why it worked as far as the chemistry goes, but they wanted a solo guy, but you're playing for like a couple thousand people, so how to engage them
Right.
when it's a cold crowd that doesn't know you. So I've gotten pretty decent at that over the years, and then I was making my record. So I'd been with them for 2 summers, like I said. So I said, wouldn't it be great to have her sing with me on a song? For me, just when I was sitting with them backstage, there was high school me showed up, and like this is not happen. It's not real. You need to blink a few times, clear your eyes. You see that it's not real, and so I asked her to sing a background vocal with me, and she said, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so that's how it happened.
Did you write a Toast to Us?
Yeah.
Is that yours?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, you've got the sweetest love songs.
Oh, thank you.
Like Skin.
Yeah.
That's so sweet.
Thank you.
Toast to Us is sweet.
I'm a sweet guy, right?
I mean,
You can't tell
seem
yet.
Sweet. I don't know.
I've been here a while, so
The New Englanders aren't really known to be that sweet.
I know.
So-
Usually cold, but I'm more of a Buffalo guy. In Buffalo, it's the sweetest people in the whole country.
Yeah, well, that's good.
They want doors held and manners and neighbors who are friendly. That's Buffalo.
Yeah. So love is a big theme of yours. I guess you've talked a lot about some grief in your life with your brother, and then some challenges with stuttering.
Yeah.
You mentioned the musicals when you were growing up. That's really what helped you overcome some of those challenges, right?
You mean to be in musicals?
Yeah,
or
to be like the Bye Birdie, that helped you with the stuttering
Oh yeah.
challenge.
Yeah, but that was 5th grade, and that was the first time. So basically, I went to do the 5th or 6th grade musical. And so I was told to read for the part, and I got up to read, and I couldn't read. I felt like I was going to suffocate because I stuttered so badly at that time. My face turned red. I couldn't breathe, and I was about to just pass out. Then one of the teachers was like, why don't we skip this part, Chris, and why don't you sing for us? And I remember I sang, and I crushed it. I was like, whoa.
That's awesome.
They were all like, whoa. So I learned then that, maybe I can't talk so great, but the singing is good. So then throughout high school, I had the same stuttering issue that was very intense and embarrassing, humiliating. At times, people would kind of point and laugh, but singing always kind of just guided me through. And then over the years in high school, I found my clique. My people were musicians, actors, singers. So that's the group that I fell into, and they would accept anything because most musicians kind of come from trauma backgrounds, or so everybody just finds a home with each other. So that's actually where I first felt like I belonged. And then I picked up guitar at 13, and I learned some chords, and then started writing songs.
Yeah, the quote that I love is like you said, music kind of saved my ass.
Oh, definitely.
Saved me from feeling like a total shit.
Well, look, yeah, I mean, totally, because it gave me almost my full identity. I can remember when I had kids, like, it was the first time I had to find myself outside of music and think of somebody aside myself. You know what I mean? Aside from my wife, but she's an artist too, so she understood, like if I needed to do my thing, she'd be like, go do it, because she would get that. But the kids don't understand that. So I'd have to come off the road and just be with my kids. So I would always take over everything, so to be with them all the time. And it was a very interesting thing, because I started thinking, who am I outside of music? And can I teach them good values and good things, and you teach them creativity, and it was just interesting to think about that, because music filled up such a huge part of me, and it just became who I was. And so I toured with the band for a bunch of years, and so that's a full circus on the road, and it's just very consuming, and it can be addictive, and you start out getting paid in alcohol, and then you get attention and all that stuff. So I think you get lost in it. The kids, for me, were just a way to kind of get out of that.
Yeah. So you mentioned your youngest of 6.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And how long ago did you lose your brother?
That was 2 summers ago.
2 summers ago.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. And was that an addiction?
Addiction. Yeah. Yeah.
So in terms of grief, did that inspire any of your most recent music?
The opening song of my newest record,
Campfire, Symphony, right?
is all about grief. And when I wrote it, it was right after my brother died. And no, it was actually before my brother died. This is what was weird about it, was I wrote the song, you just had no idea what the topic was, but it flowed out in like half an hour. And I just remember when my brother died, it was almost predictive, because it talked about the kind of just the mystery of life.
Oh man.
In how nature makes us feel like well, there's so much we don't know. You will never know, and that became kind of how I dealt with my brother's death, because I tried to help him for many years through addiction, and he kind of addiction hopped from this to that to this. For the last 3 years, he was literally homeless, and I was helping him find places and jobs and going through, but nobody could really help him because he was that deep in the tunnel kind of. So eventually he went to a rehab that he stayed in for almost the full time. He never stayed the whole time. He'd be like, "This sucks and I need a cigarette." So he would leave. but at the very end, kind of just the saddest thing about it was he actually did start to improve, but by the end he started to find a little purpose. He found his own place, and he got semi-clean, and then his body, we think, was just ravaged by that point in time. So, not to bring the vibe down, but so that became the theme of that song. Because I realized I was already grieving him before he died.
That's incredible.
If that makes sense.
Did that teach you? What did that teach you about grief?
Well, I think you can never really learn much about it. It's just like a part of life, and I just played my high school reunion last August.
Your 10th?
Yeah, my 10th. Well, I was the 5th, but I look older than that. But I just remember our class president, he was reading the death list of classmates who had died, and it was like went on and on and on. And I just remember I was like, stop, like, when is it gonna stop? But
wow.
So grief is just a part of life. It's intertwined with us, and so I think that there's no right way to do it. When my dad died, I did the drive from Denver to like Oklahoma City, which is all flat.
It's nothing. Yeah.
I played one song over and over and over again, and cried my eyes out. Got to my gig in Oklahoma City, and I was like, I think that's it. I feel good.
Oh man.
I feel good. But it was like 9 hours nonstop cry. So.
Well, when we have more time at some point in the future, I would love to ask you what 4 songs you'd want played at your funeral.
Yeah, I haven't thought about that yet.
So
I think I just want my own stuff played.
Yeah,
that's my goal.
That makes sense.
You can play me and think about me, because that's where I poured my heart into.
So I'd love to have that conversation. But actually, again, yesterday, one of the 4 songs that Navarro said was "Keg on My Coffin."
Oh, cool.
Your song. And your mom, is that a phrase that your mom came up with?
Yeah, my sister-in-law's mother died. And there's a lot about death in this podcast. I didn't know that was the theme, but
hey man, it's a music podcast about more than music.
That's right. I like that. So my sister-in-law's mother died, and we were sitting around the kitchen table in Buffalo, where my parents literally never left for their whole life. Like, I'd go home when I was 20, same kitchen table from college. In my 30s, go home, I'd bring my kids, that still same kitchen table. So that's where they always were. So you're sitting around chatting about all the complications around planning the wake, the funeral. My mom, like, just from nowhere, she was like exasperated. You said, "Christopher, when I die, just put the keg on my coffin." My songwriting antenna was like, boom. So I went and wrote right away.
That's incredible. I mean,
Is it-
he rattled off the lyrics like it was.
Oh, did he? Oh,
Yeah, he
that's
listens to it, I
awesome.
guess, all the time. I don't know, but that was cool that he said that. And I'm talking with you today.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that song's actually become maybe my signature song, which is weird to have a song about death that's your signature song, but it's
Yeah.
actually more about life.
Yeah.
It's meant to be about celebrating life in anticipation of life. Life has a punctuation mark to
Yeah.
it. So, but the funniest thing is that I'm seeing that song pop up on lists now of like top 10 songs about death. And that's, it's not something I set out to do,
No, totally,
but
yeah.
you got to take where it comes, right?
Well, that's what you get with having Coffin in the title.
That's
right?
true.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
anyway.
You just Google it now, and best songs, including Coffin. And but
All right. So a couple more questions. Again, these last two I ask everybody. I try not to ask everybody all the same questions all the time, but I like these two because everybody obviously is different. So where do you think you are as an artist after 12 albums and all the things that you've done? And like, where do you want to be?
that's a great question. I think I don't know right now, but that's a good feeling for me, not knowing, because it means the sky's the limit, or I can just think of all different approaches. But at the same time, it's a little scary because I just feel like usually I write a batch of songs, take a break. Usually I've never knock on wood again, but I've never experienced writer's block. I've never had that happen because I don't pressure myself. I kind of let it flow. And if it's not, walk away and do something else. But so now I've taken about a year off from songwriting. I'm starting to get the itch to do it again. I'm singing songs into my phone, like videos in elevators and lobbies and stuff like that. So I'm starting to get the urge again. And I think that I've always just followed whatever bizarre path shows up.
Right.
So it's like when I did the Dixieland Jazz Band record, I did a record with eight guys who at that time I was in my late 30s. They were all 70s and 80s, but for one of them. But just one of those ideas. I was like, I love this band. You just want to record with them. I walked into a studio that was mainly a hip hop studio, and the producer was like, "Oh, it's all live music. You just set up mics for tuba and drums and trumpet, clarinet and saxophone, but it ended up being super, super cool."
That's awesome.
So I love that feeling of unpredictability. Don't force it. Let it show up, but follow your instincts.
Awesome. Are you more challenged with being inspired to write songs as you get older, or is it easier? Does it come easier?
I mean, so I think I'm more challenged with the promotion of it. It's like when my brother died, I was like, I don't want to promote myself. Like it just seemed so vapid at that time. But the writing aspect and creative aspect, that's always fun for me. It's not easy, but it's not hard. It's just a part of me. It has been since I was a kid. So that's a comfort zone to me. I think the promotion gets more difficult just because like I feel guilty about being so self-consumed. Like let me talk about me and let me promote me, and it just feels weird, especially when you're going through one of those life moments, either grief or parenting or whatever. It just feels kind of dumb. But now my kids are at the age where they're starting to get what I do a little bit more. So it's fun to have them. They'll be like, yeah, my friend's parents were big fans of yours before they knew who you were, and that's a cool moment.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. So last question. So I'm a big believer in curiosity. I think it's underrated.
Yeah, I agree.
At this stage in your life and your career, like, what are you most curious about?
See, that's actually a nice thing because I'm curious about so much that I never get bored. Knock on wood again, but I'm always interested in lots of things, whether it be politics or culture or food or music or art or acting or just, I'm curious now about animals, insects, just that mystery of what does it all mean and why are we here and is there a secret in? As we look at it, so I'll never kill a bug. Like that's the thing. So
That's hilarious.
it drives my wife nuts because I have a bug cup. It's called, where I write on it, like, don't use this to drink out of it. It's a bug cup. So I'll go and collect the bug and put it outside.
That's awesome.
And because I'm so fascinated by even just bugs and what their lives are like, and basically I could go on forever about it. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for your time.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You should be at the 38 Songwriters Festival.
Oh, good.
You're one of the best. So good luck this weekend. And
thank you.
Would you play a couple songs for us?
I'd be honored.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chris.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Pleasure. Hey, I'm Chris Trapper, and I'd like to dedicate this first song I'm going to play from Jason to Sarah Beth, and it's a song called Toast to Us. Meet you in the kitchen. It's a party of two. I will bring the wine, you bring the food. You wear your party dress, and I will wear my sequin suit. And Billie Holiday will sing the blues. And we talk through the night of how quick time passes by, and all the good to come. Trust how in a world filled with rage the love here has stayed. It's time we had a toast to us. They say death do us part, then I'll see you in court. It seems like true love's memory is short. You're cleaning out the closet, and I'm raking up the leaves. So far Sunday's as romantic as a sneeze. But when the moon starts to rise, I will meet you inside. Our Sunday clothes are covered in dust, but history's shown the hearts make the home. It's time we had a toast to us. I'm stuck on Carolina. How I wish the light would change. Traffic's only gotten worse since we complained. The city's moving in, 'cause the old guard's dying off, and you and I live somewhere in between. If the world passes by, and the winter birds fly, and we're feeling like we missed the bus, and when there's no new news there, before the grays in our hair, it's time we had a toast to us. It's time we had a toast to us. It's time we had a toast to us. This is a song called Campfire Symphony, which we discussed in the podcast earlier. So, time is a funny thing when you're out of wine. The birdcage doesn't sing, nothing's on vine. I could wander to the city, sit still here just drifting in my mind. Feels like I've lived so much with nothing much to show. Half-hearted interludes, always on the go. I wanna go back to the beginning, when I wasn't so good at my goodbyes. The clock that stopped upon the wall is crooked and it looks like it might fall. I close my eyes and you're still by my side. From millions of light years, galaxies collide. And I'm sitting still, just watching sparks fly by, trying to keep the ash out of my eyes. Trees are another thing when they surround your house. It's Campfire, Symphony. I'm all struck by the sounds. Yeah, it fills me up with wonder. What mystery must linger in the woods? There's people I love so much and lost along the way. The crickets that sing for me come to save the day. Yeah, they've come here to remind me I'll always know there's things I'll never know. Firefly flies by as if to say, I hope you enjoyed the show. I close my eyes and you're still by my side. Millions of light years, galaxies collide. And I'm sitting still, just watching sparks fly by, trying to keep the ash out of my eyes. I close my eyes and you're still by my side. For millions of light years, galaxies collide. And I'm sitting still, just watching sparks fly by, trying to keep the ash out of my eyes.